How are we doing today, guys? It's Jesse with the Common Man Corpus Christi, bringing you news and politics through a common sense lens. And we have an update in some of the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. Hashtag Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Prince Andrew agrees to settlement in Jeffrey Epstein's sex abuse case. And I'm going to get, when I get to the end of the story, because it's not a very long article, so this will probably be one of my shorter videos for the news channel. But what I wanted to I wanted to go over this, and then I'm going to give you my opinion at the end and why this pisses me off. So here we go. Prince Andrew has settled out of court with a woman who accused him of sexual assault while she was under the control of international sex criminal Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, reported CNBC. The woman, Virginia Guffrey, previously sued Prince Andrew after accusing him of sexually assaulting her when she was just 17 years old. Guffrey said that she was dedicated to holding Prince Andrew accountable for what he did to me. The powerful and rich are not exempt from being held responsible for their actions, Griff said. I hope that other victims will see that it is possible not to live in silence and fear, but to reclaim one's life by speaking out and demanding justice. See, now that's okay. So I understand her statement. And I believe her in her sincerity. Here's my issue with it. If that was really your case, why are you settling and not taking this to court and exposing all of them for everything they've done? I understand this was a traumatic experience. I understand that it has caused you a lot of issues in your life. And maybe this is the easier way out. I understand that. But at the same time, you have to understand how many other victims will occur and how many other victims will come under the influence of this guy in the future if no one speaks out, if no one exposes them in the full light of the sun. The settlement amount was not disclosed in court's filings, but it did say that the prince will make a substantial donation to Miss Guffrey's charity in support of victims' rights. Prince Andrew's legal team failed multiple attempts to get the suit against him dismissed, but now that the parties have settled, a dismissal is expected to come soon from the judge presiding over the case. Griff's attorney wrote, the parties anticipate filing a stipulation of dismissal after the case within 30 days. In the interim, the parties request that the court suspend all deadlines and hold the action in abeyance. A document attached to the attorney's statement stated Prince Andrew has never intended to malign Miss Guffrey's character, and he accepts that she has suffered both as an established victim of abuse and a result of unfair public attacks. That sounds like an admission of guilt to me personally, but I'm not a lawyer, and I'm just speculating here. I'm just the common man speculating on crazy-ass crap going on in the world. It continued, Prince Andrew regrets his association with Epstein and okay, that's why you gave him tours of the frickin' the palace and everything else. It continued, Prince Andrew regrets his association with Epstein and commends the bravery of Miss Guffrey and other survivors in standing up for themselves and others. He pledges to demonstrate his regret for his association with Epstein by supporting the fight against the evils of sex trafficking and by supporting its victims. So basically, you got your hand in the cookie jar, got your hand caught in the cookie jar, and now you're going to make sure now all of a sudden you're going to fight back. Now that you've been caught as the thief, now that you've been caught as the evil criminal, now all of a sudden you're going to turn over a new leaf? I don't buy it for a second. The Telegraph reported that the prince's mother, Queen Elizabeth II, helped fund her son's legal expensive fees. All the way up to the Queen, folks. All the way up to the Queen. Which means she had to have known about this stuff. She had to have known what's going on about all of this. And she kept silent anyway. And the prince sold off an elaborate ski resort that he owned along with his ex-wife to help finance his defense. After sitting for a poorly received interview with the BBC, Prince Andrew hired a high-powered legal team, including Claire Montgomery, an attorney who formerly defended Chilean dictator Augusto Pinochet. I don't know. Last month, Prince Andrew was stripped of his military titles and various other honorifics that distinguished him as a member of England's royal family. The BBC reported that the prince is no longer permitted to use or be addressed as His Royal Highness in an official capacity. Well, His Royal Highness certainly accurate to the whole damn thing. It's one of those things, like, this is the kind of stuff that I'm going to tell you now why this stuff pisses me off. Because these people should be going to jail for a very long time. You should bury them in a hole and then bury the hole. And never, ever let these people in civilized society ever again. These people knew exactly what they were involved in. They knew exactly who they were hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein and going to Pedo Island and everything else. These people knew exactly what they were getting involved in, and all of this is just going to get more cover-ups and more people not talking and not exposing the extent of the length of how deep this rabbit hole goes. We know Clinton was on his plane many times. We even know Trump was on his plane a couple of times. Now, we also know Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago after he found out that he was being accused of diddling with kids. But we still need to know everything. I don't care if it was Trump. I don't care if it was Bush. I don't care if it was Clinton. I don't care if it was name your favorite politician. I don't care if it was Ted Cruz. I don't care if it was Rand Paul. I don't care if it was Ron Paul. We need all of this exposed. That little black book of Ghislaine Maxwell's, all of those court files, all of that stuff needs to be opened up and exposed so the public can see it, so we can see the extent that this blackmail ring went. We need to see who all was involved, who knew what was going on, how deep the ties go, and all of it needs to be exposed. These people need to be brought before Congress and interrogated until they all confess of their crimes. This is insanity. All of this is, the FBI knew about this, the federal government knew about this, the CIA knew about all of this. They've got all the records to prove it, and none of it's being released. James Comey's daughter was involved in the prosecution of Ghislaine Maxwell. Tell me that doesn't stink to high heaven. This is all corrupt, and it needs to be exposed. But that's my common sense take. This is Jesse with the Common Man Corpus Christi, bringing you news and politics through a common sense lens. Thanks, guys.